Well, this has been a great week for Formula One. It's been a great week for the Inside Line F1 podcast. We are so excited. So excited. Kunal Shah, Rishi Kapoor. This is not very often that we meet like midweek and try to record a podcast, but Formula One is really gunning.
Yeah, I got surprised when you called me this evening saying, hey, let's meet. There's a lot to talk about. And this is midweek and
This is ridiculous. You're getting a phone call in the middle of the... I mean, what the hell?
Sorry, Rishi, I got to take this call.
Okay, go for it. Make it quick.
Hello? Yes. This is Kunal, yes. From the Inside Line F1 podcast, yes. And yes, Rishi is of course with me as well. Yes, we are recording. Where are you calling from though? Did you just say the Infiniti Red Bull Racing team? I don't trust you guys. Really, how do I know it's the Infiniti Red Bull Racing team? Identify yourself. But Rishi, I have a call from somebody from the Red Bull Racing team saying that you and I are going to be on a flight. Red Bull's going to give us wings. And we're on our way to Hyderabad this weekend for the Speedrun Festival they've organized.
This must be true.
Really? Okay, let me finish the call. Okay, Rishi and I are game, of course. We're going to call you back though. Thank you.
Well, if I'm the prankster on the show and if I do all of this and if I'm not calling, then this must be true. Are we really going to Hyderabad for the dream run?
Yes, this is not an April Fool prank. I promise you, Rishi Kapoor.
This is going to be so exciting. I'm packing my new clothes, my new beach wear. It's a lake, right?
It's a lake, absolutely. But guess what? We're going to be there for the speed run.
Yes.
We've been called exclusively to cover it.
Yes.
On audio, on our platforms.
Yes.
Kudos to you, to Rishi Kapoor. Thank you very much. But I'm still surprised because you are still puzzled and you're not talking. So I'm guessing you are.
I'm a little, because I've always thought of meeting DC, David Coulthard, just jamming, vibing with him. What's up, mate? Hey, let's just, I actually have a little Scottish accent.
So you better be wearing your Scottish skirt and going.
I'm buying my bagpipes tomorrow morning.
But on the topic of Infiniti Red Bull Racing,
yes,
I'm just elated. I'm just surprised. Now I'm trying to think. This is possibly going to be our best memory of Formula One and the team, etc.
Yes.
But what are your earliest memories of the team?
I remember Red Bull Racing. Like now it literally owns two teams now. It wasn't that way. They were actually partners with another team. And the team was?
Sauber.
Yes, and they were co-owners and Peter Sauber, along with Red Bull, had actually discovered a lot of talent. There's Felipe Massa and Raikkonen that actually started from the Sauber.
Yeah, can you imagine? Kimi Raikkonen was actually driving a Red Bull-owned team at some point of time.
Yes, and I do remember he scored first points in his first race, but so many champions have come out of there, including Sebastian and multiple championships.
Yeah, do you know that it was Kimi Raikkonen's unexpected hire that actually got Red Bull to realize that, listen, if we want to promote our junior talent, we need our own team, and hence they bought out Jaguar, which I was a little surprised, but well, they bought out Jaguar from Ford. And they started Red Bull Racing in 2005.
Then they brought on Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey, the man who makes the most sleekest, sexiest, aerodynamically fastest machines in Formula One, known to be the man that can change the saga of a Formula One team. And he literally came from McLaren and Williams and world championships. And when he came to this new team, everybody said, why? But he's actually defined it.
Yeah,
why.
I mean, I was surprised, to be honest. And I remember when I read this and I was like, why would somebody leave McLaren? But guess what? He also got wings from Red Bull. Maybe that's why he moved.
Well, Red Bull is also the story of a midfield team becoming the big team, becoming the more important team, becoming the team that actually has the money, power, the strength, and the foresight to become champions. And Red Bull also having the foresight. They've actually been around since the V10 era, then the shift to the V8s, and in the V6s and the V8s, they literally killed it.
Are you trying to say we'll go to V4s after this? I really hope not.
I think Bernie someday going to have bicycles on the track, but nevertheless.
But I'm glad you brought about the engines because very interestingly, I don't know if you remember, but I have a faint memory. Red Bull actually used Ferrari engines when they started up in Formula One, a team that they have comprehensively beat in the last 5 years.
Yes,
Can you imagine? They started off with Ferrari. And they now ended up beating Ferrari. But like the epitome of a midfield team, they started off on the right foot. They bought a very sound team. They hired the right people. They invested money. Yes, crucial one. They invested a lot of money from Red Bull energy drinks. And guess what? They possibly were the only team that I remember that went from inception to winning a world championship in the shortest possible time.
The fastest road to glory. Well, they were in the fastest cup. And David Coulthard, the man we're going to be meeting and chilling and making friends with and taking pictures and selfies with, was chosen to lead the team. I absolutely remember having Kristen Clean on board, Bernaldi, the Luizzi's of the world.
I remember Luizzi very clearly. I don't know why. He's a former world champion of karting as well.
A very distorted face.
Yeah. Oh, he's a nice guy, trust me. But yeah, there was Scott Speed, and do you know even Karun Chandok and Naren Karthikeyan at one point of time, our very own Indian racers,
yes,
were a part of the Red Bull Junior Racing program. And as a result, again, people talk of GP2 as being feeder series to Formula One, but Red Bull Racing sometime along the way must have figured that, listen, not just a feeder series, we need a feeder team. And in 2006, they ended up buying Minardi, which then has now gone on to become Toro Rosso.
Yes, another successful page in the history of Red Bull Racing. Well, hence they had 2 teams with 4 cars, 4 racing seats, and 3 out of those 4 were filled by Sebastians. There was a Sebastian Bourdais, there was a Sebastian Buemi, and there was a Sebastian Vettel. Vettel, well, being the most recalled one.
But Rishi, in my mind, Red Bull is also the best marketing team on the grid. Ask me why.
Yes. Oh yes, I know what the answer is, but you should mention it here.
Yes, so I remember in Monaco, they have had integrations with the Star Wars movie. The pit crew was dressed up like Star Wars. True. Yeah. Then they've done a Superman, and now we've seen the Camo Bull. Their content pool in Formula One is possibly the best. Okay, if you visit the websites, you'll see them because I really go and consume them as well. But coming back to Monaco, their flotilla in Monaco is where you and I need to be next invited to.
I am expecting that phone call very soon, and I would love to be there. But what I'm trying to say is the best example, when Ferrari and McLaren were already established in history of Formula One, these guys wrote their own legend. Well, they had their own story, they had their own struggles, but they came out winning and how.
Yeah, and going back to marketing, because that's what I end up talking more about, is they have treated, Red Bull Racing has actually treated Indian fans as their own. Okay, they won all the editions of the Indian Grand Prix. In fact, they won it so comprehensively. Okay, I remember that they have done more speed runs in India than any other team. They've done one in Bombay. They've done one in Delhi. I remember they were the first ones to drive on the Budh International Circuit. And they, of course, did the Khardungla run with Neil Jani, if you remember.
Absolutely. That being the most famous one, the most gutsiest one.
Yeah. But my most fresh memory, Rishi, is of when Sebastian Vettel did his donuts. He defied the FIA. He did his donuts at the Indian Grand Prix when he was crowned the quadruple world champion.
Yes.
He goes ahead in front of his Red Bull Racing car. I don't remember what the name was. He bows down to her. He goes and pats her. What strong memories. I was beneath the podium when he was being crowned the champion and he was receiving the trophy. Some unbelievable hair-standing moments. I might have a video somewhere.
I was actually right in front of him when he was doing that because I was in the grandstand and I was witnessing that. And there was a quadruple champion being crowned in the Indian grandstand, was just erupting.
And talking of champions, it takes a lot of guts to say no to Alonso when he's available. It takes a lot of guts to say no to Lewis Hamilton when he comes knocking your door. And it takes even more guts to let your quadruple world champion walk away and join Ferrari just because he wants to. And then you just pick up a kid like Daniel Kvyat, who's probably got like a 20 race experience and say, hey, guess what? You're going to be in the World Championship team, the parent team of Red Bull Racing.
I understand that they have the best understanding of new talent and how to nurture it and polish it, and that's why they picked us up to do this for them.
Pat on your back.
That I always knew.
Yes.
So they have the taste.
And I read this on a fan's blog somewhere who was there at the Indian Grand Prix. And one of those few female fans that you'll hear about. And she said that when she was walking through the paddock, she was a guest of one of the teams. And she said that the Red Bull Racing garage and the mechanics seemed the most approachable. They were most calm going about doing their work. There was music blaring through their speakers and they were most chilled out. So, it's a very fun-loving team which, youngsters automatically get pulled onto, I guess.
Yes. Very aspirational. That is indeed.
So now, Rishi, yes. What do we do? What do our fans do? What are we going to do out there on ground?
We're going to get one Red Bull each, have it, get the wings, fly down to Hyderabad with our own wings, and then just sit next to DC and say, what's up?
Yay!
Let's do this.
But from a programming point of view, we should tell our fans what to tune and what to expect.
Yes, we're going to be covering the whole event. To say, I'll be hosting it. We'll also have a lot of exclusive time with DC. We're going to be having a little interview, a little chat with him about Formula One and the perspective, of future of Formula One. Whether it's going to come back to India, how does he like it in India? You can expect the noisy V8 engine to be heard again on the Inside Line F1 podcast. And do not forget pictures, videos, etc. from there. The Inside Line F1 podcast is shifting base for a bit.
And there is an opportunity that we will have a certain fan questions that we will ask David. Why not? Let's do that.
Okay, you can send in your questions. There are a lot of links below. Wherever you're listening to this, just leave a comment and we can ask that question to DC.
Yes. Or they can tweet us. Yes. There is @RJ Rishi Kapoor, @Kunal Esha. They can tweet us. We're on Facebook, YouTube, every possible social media. Just search for us and you'll find us.
Yes.
But beyond all of this excitement and Red Bull stuff, Red Bull Infiniti Red Bull Racing, drinking all the stuff and growing wings. Don't grow too many. You can't go and do what that Felix Baumgartner did from Stratosphere. Okay. What are you going to do out there? What am I going to do out there? I'm clueless.
You never know. I might just be very close to the car. I might just be hosting it. I might just be, shouting my lungs out alongside that V8. I'm really excited.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to make my blog also grow a few wings. I'll do some exclusive Red Bull content, which I've been waiting to do so as well. And fans should just keep tuning into the Inside Line F1 podcast all weekend to see what is it that we've got there.
Yes, quite a lot of exclusive coming your way, which I don't believe the other Formula One fraternity is going to be offering. But till then, we have a lot of planning to do. If you want to catch us, no matter where you are, on what platform you are, we are available everywhere. On iTunes, we're known as?
It's called the Inside Line F1 podcast. Just search us on the iTunes store. We'll be there. We have RSS feeds mentioned in the blog itself. Go and see it. We are also on TuneIn Radio. Just make sure you catch us because on Saturday and Sunday, we will bring to you the event from Hyderabad.